Hey, come see us do live shows January 3rd in Los Angeles, Honolulu after that, Baltimore, Maryland, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So here's Piers Morgan is going to get schooled about Syria again by Jeffrey Sachs. It's how many times is Piers Morgan going to be schooled and none of it's going to stick and he learns nothing? Maybe it's time for Piers to be placed in special education. I know there's a stigma with being an international cable news celebrity in special ed, but he needs special care and attention, and he's not getting it.
Jeffrey Sachs can't do it all, Jimmy.
It almost sounds like Piers is being stupid on purpose most of the time because that's actually his real job. Want to watch? Watch this.
You think the CIA would launch a chemical weapons attack simply to smear Assad?
With a straight face, he says that.
It worked before. With Saddam.
Do you think they would release a chemical attack to make Syria look bad? No, you tangled, expressionless marionette. We released the chemicals because the FDA deemed it safe and effective.
Yeah.
Here we go. He laughed right in his face. He laughed right in his face. Like Piers Morgan has the mind of a child. By the way,
he's giving him a great setup.
They invited me on the show this morning. I said no, I was busy. They keep inviting me on. I'm flattered they want me to come on, but
F that, dude. His skill is to provoke you by saying something stupid, and hopefully you lose your shit. You know.
Agreed.
Do you think the CIA would launch a chemical weapons attack simply to smear Assad?
Of course it would. Are you kidding?
They killed JFK, you moron.
They should call this show "Stupid on Purpose" with Piers Morgan. And then just watch him not be able to connect the dots. Because that's what he is. Piers is what they call a cooler. Do you know what a cooler is? When average people are on a hot streak of connecting the dots, he comes in and lowers the intellectual temperature.
Would the CIA do that?
They would do that? This guy, if he was any more British, he'd be his own cousin. Here we go. Hang on. Here we go.
Do you think the CIA would launch a chemical weapons attack simply to smear Assad?
Of course it would. Are you kidding? It's done much worse than that. It launches coups, assassinations, wars. The whole history of the United States after 1947 is bring down one government. The CIA has been involved in probably 90 or 100 covert regime change operations since it was founded in 1947. My whole life has been the United States at war. It's sickening. It's tiring because these wars are disasters. This is standard fare. Overthrow governments in the neighborhood, expand the war, draw the United States in, and the U.S. Is always available at Israel's behest to play games and expand wars. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Do you think they would you think the CIA would do a chemical attack?
If you don't mind, we know they did it on us. What they did it on us many times. That's just public record.
So here, this guy, here's the timeline of exposed operations. In 2020, DIA memo revealed that the U.S. knew about the Al-Qaeda ISIS chemical weapons program, which is the people who actually did the chemical attacks in Syria, but they were false flags.
Because Assad had no motive to do that.
None.
Because why would he want America to invade him?
He wouldn't. In 2013, Seymour Hersh exposed the rat line moving weapons from Libya to Syria via Turkey. So in 2013, UN's Carla Del Ponte found evidence that U.S.-backed rebels used sarin gas. In 2014, Turkish members of parliament exposed sarin precursors sent to rebels through Turkey. In 2019, the OPCW whistleblower confirmed evidence was manipulated to blame Assad. Operation Timber Sycamore. That's the operation. The CIA named the operation to fund Al-Qaeda and ISIS and al-Nusra and all the rebels that we call barbarians who chop people's head choppers, chop their head off with kitchen knives. We funded them in an operation called Operation Timber Sycamore to the tune of $1 billion. CIA
We taught them to smear all Muslims universally to make it easy to do this stuff.
That's right. And then Bill Maher repeats the CIA talking points about all of this. Bill Maher doesn't know any of this.
He blames George Clooney for writing an op-ed to make Biden drop out and not Obama, the guy who obviously told him to do it.
Yes.
He thinks Clooney's the guy who makes the final call.
So the CIA docs proved they knew weapons went to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. CIA docs proved it. WikiLeaks exposed CIA's zero footprint, moving Libyan weapons. So they overthrew Libya and then took all the weapons that Gaddafi and Libya had and moved it to the rebels in Syria so they could overthrow Syria next.
Benghazi wasn't because of a movie?
Isn't that funny? Multiple OPCW scientists risked their careers exposing the truth, and U.S. blocked every independent investigation. OPCW whistleblower quotes, "The way the facts were misrepresented in the final report," this is the report about chemical attacks of Assad on his own people. "The way the facts were misrepresented in the final report constitutes professional wrongdoing." Ian Henderson, one of the official inspectors. That was suppressed. The report's conclusions were contradictory, not supported by observation, and key facts were misrepresented. Who said that? The chief of the OPCW cabinet, Dr. Brendan Whelan. They suppressed that. "We had serious misgivings that a chemical attack had occurred." Another inspector with the OPCW. That was all suppressed, not mentioned in the United States press. It was mentioned on this show.
I had a friend argue with me that Syria definitely did do that, and it was one of my more informed friends.
Yeah.
Rachel Maddow told them.
The OPCW found the cylinder was manually placed. We showed you that in real time. We showed you that on our show, that the cylinder that was supposed to be used in the gas deck was manually placed on someone's bed inside of an apartment building.
You know, also, the story only makes sense if you know literally zero about Syria at all on any level.
And by the way, the Young Turks told every one of these lies.
Well, of course they did.
Ballistics, the official toxicology contradicted the official story. Ballistics disproved that there was aerial bombing claims. BBC producer admitted hospital scenes were staged. The hospital scenes of people who were supposedly coming in to be treated for chemical attacks, those were staged. 4 senior OPCW experts resigned in protest over the final report, which said that Assad gassed his own people, and an MIT scientist's analysis disproved all those claims.
Why is everything Groundhog Day all the time?
The final reality. Every allegation debunked by the original investigators, every allegation that they made about Assad gassing his own people were debunked by the original investigators. Investigation team were fired for finding the truth.
What is this, vaccine?
Multiple independent analysis proved staging. Whistleblowers sacrificed their career for truth. United States, UK, and France blocked all independent probes into the gas attacks, and the original OPCW team found evidence of staging. And where does this information come from? Well, the Jimmy Dore Show and from Aaron Mate.
Russian asset Aaron Mate.
Who the Young Turks smeared as taking money from Assad and being paid by the Russians. The Young Turks smeared him because he was telling you the truth we just told you about the NATO plan, the United States CIA dirty war, and he was telling the truth. And the Young Turks are paid. They get $20 million from the top Democratic donors. And then they smear anti-war journalists. And then Anna Kasparian, to try to get us to shut up, tried to blackmail me with a fake hashtag #MeToo.
By the way, her angry voice talking about Aaron, she did that for free. She threw that in.
That's right.
Oh, Aaron Mate.
So,
wow.
And so Piers Morgan never looked at any of that. Never read this article, never watched our show, never looked into the OPCW whistleblowers telling the truth. None of it. Piers Morgan, none of it. He just turns on Rachel Maddow and repeats what he sees.
You know, I like rich chicks that don't think they're smart, like your Paris Hiltons and such. I don't like these ones that are just rich dingbats that think they're really bright, because they really get vehement pushing misinformation, as the kids call it, and smearing people and then trying to blackmail to cover their tracks when they realize they said something wrong.
Hey, come see us do live shows January 3rd in Los Angeles, Honolulu after that, Baltimore, Maryland, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.